Morning, ladies and gentlemen. Yesterday we looked at a conventional sport jacket. It was brown, a deep chocolate brown in cashmere and wool, with very faint blue window panes or very faint blue over checks. Today we're going to look at something a bit more unconventional. It's called a hacking coat or a hacking jacket. It bears its history in English tradition, very deep English tradition, and it used to be worn for horse riding or polo. And so the jacket was typically very lean to the body since it was considered sportswear. And then the way it's cut to be flared like that. So it's cut very lean to the body and then it flares out, as you can see. And the point being, when you're sitting on a horse, it allows one to sit properly and just sort of the jacket splays to the side while sitting on the head. The same thing, typically it's cut with a middle vent in the back or sort of a center vent. Again, usually when you're sitting on a horse, you sit astride, so the jacket in the back sort of splays, but because this is not a conventional or traditional hacking coat, I've got with side vents just as a fashion statement. So that is the history of the hacking coat as I understand it. And I got my inspiration for this coat from the Huntsman jacket. Huntsman is a British Savile Row house that has a very, very unique house cut. And so I took my inspiration from there and designed this coat essentially as a hacking coat, which has been somewhat contemporarized, if you want to use that word. Essentially, I've sort of tried to find a medium between a conventional hacking coat and a contemporary version of a sport jacket, and this is the outcome. So there you have it. The fabric, it's a tweed with a houndstooth pattern. Some might even call this a gunclub check. But it's basically 100% wool tweedish finish with brown and green olive houndstooth with sort of a cream background. So it's very, very lovely. I mean, it's not as luxurious as the jacket we had on yesterday, but it's just a very, very, very proper conventional British tweed. So that's it. That's it for the cloth. Again, the cut is a hacking coat. I've used a ticket pocket, flat pockets, and a ticket pocket on one side. It's 3-button, rolling to 2. As you can see the beautiful roll. Again, hallmark of a hand-padded lapel. And just again, in inherence or sort of as a gesture to the country nature of the jacket or to the heritage, I've used here the collar. I've added a latch, a throat latch, what is called the throat latch. It used to be back in the day, you could actually turn up the collar and button the latch so that you have sort of full protection over your neck. But this is more or less a fashion statement, so there is no button behind it. Behind the latch, it's just essentially an artificial latch. But I thought it was something, an added detail that gives the jacket a bit more authenticity to its heritage in English tradition. So that's it for the fit. Again, very, very, very fitted, very, very lean fit. Quite different from the coat we had on yesterday, which was a bit more of a relaxed fit, but this is more of a sporty jacket, so I went for a very, very, very lean cut. The back. Legs lying flat, the very clean back. The shoulders pitch, dead perfect, not a wrinkle in sight. And here I've gone for more of a classic shoulder. So rather than the spalla camicia or spalla chino, which I had on yesterday, which was more sort of a curtained shirt shoulder. I've gone for more of a typical structured shoulder, which again lends itself to sort of the English look or the English tradition. I typically avoid very structured shoulders, and again, just for those of you, I mean, a lot of you might already know, but depending on your build, or you're going to have to choose the cut of your coat depending on the way you're built. If you have sort of square slight shoulders, you can wear soft shoulders all day long because you have natural square shoulders. I do have muscular slanting shoulders, so I have to be very careful with finding the right medium between a structured shoulder and a soft shoulder to sort of avoid giving one that overly masculine or overly muscular look. So the look I usually go for with the jackets, and again, you have to sort of look at your own physique and judge what would be best suited to you, is that I go for a look which essentially it softens the hard edges, sort of it gives you, it softens the look, yet sort of maintains the frame by sort of putting borders to your shoulders, or sort of at the end of your shoulders. So that's about it. What do I have it on with today? I have it on with sort of with a wool tie. It's a houndstooth tie. A closer look. It's a houndstooth tie in olive and navy. It's a beautiful wool houndstooth tie in olive and navy. Now, I thought about using this tie initially because the patterns are quite close in size to the patterns on the jacket. And I always say you try to sort of vary your skills. You try to ensure that the skills on the tie or the shirt and the jacket are of varying proportions. That way you don't have sort of this visual conflict. But I drew some solace from the fact that it's a very dark tie. So even if the patterns are very, very close in size, it's a very dark tie. And so from a distance, it appears solid. As you can see, it appears solid from a distance. So, but that's it. The other alternative was to go for a solid tie, a solid brown tie, but I thought that might be a bit boring. So this adds a bit of visual interest without sort of being overpowering, since it's more of a very neutral dark color, and it falls, it recedes into the background, allowing the coat, which is the center of the starring role in this movie, to shine properly. Again, the shirt is white, receding completely into the background. Again, everything seeding to the coat. The trousers, they're a green, moss green flannel trousers. The shoes are a very dark brown suede, a mink dark brown suede. So if you look at the entire ensemble, everything is very neutral and grounded, which allows the coat to take center stage. It's a very unique piece. So again, when putting it together, the idea is to keep everything else in the background and allow the main star of the occasion, which is the coat, to take center stage and to shine. So that's it for today. Pocket square. It's a solid green pocket square, just to sort of add a bit of sparkle to it, so it doesn't appear overall too dull or too stubborn. So that's it for today. Thank you for watching this second installment in our jacket or sport coat series, and I look forward to bringing you yet more editions of the sport coat series. It's my pleasure to present to you. Thank you for your audience, and I look forward to seeing more of you as the season